All right, hi everybody. My name is Dr. Heather Moore, owner of Total Performance Physical Therapy. Let's go over meniscus tear exercises. So meniscus tears are extremely common. Most of the time they are not surgically repaired. If they're big enough and they really hurt, or if you're a professional athlete and need to cut very quickly, you can have it repaired. But if you choose not to, which a lot of people lean towards, then you do need to do certain exercises to make sure that everything stays strong and you're able to support your knee. The first thing that I want to talk about though is what you shouldn't do. So your meniscus is the padding in between your knee. So basically in between this bone and this bone. So it's a cushion that's in there. And what happens is you can really irritate it when you bend your knee and you wind up twisting, okay? So if you have a planted foot like this and you wind up twisting on it, that's going to really grind that meniscus. That's really gonna make it painful. So a lot of times people report, well, if I go to cut this way, I really get a sharp pain. That's a really good sign you have a meniscus tear if you haven't already been diagnosed. So just understand that. Do not avoid at all costs kind of standing and really rotating on that knee. Skiing is very impossible when you have a meniscus tear. If it's big enough, those usually get repaired because that's a lot of just putting a lot of pressure on your knee and rotating, but that's really gonna aggravate it. So what can you do? So you really wanna make sure when you have a meniscus tear or suspected meniscus tear that you keep the knee strong. What you don't want is you don't want your knee wobbling, and this is really what happens, especially as we get older and our legs get a little bit weaker, is as we bend our knee, going down the steps, going and sitting down in a chair, getting up from the bed, our knees tend to buckle. So when we go in this position, our knees go inward. And this is a lack of strength. This is not really anything other than if there's some hip deformities there, but this is a lack of strength. And what happens is this is gonna put pressure on parts of the meniscus that may be torn, parts of the meniscus that may not be torn and are about ready to be torn. So you really wanna make sure that you're doing exercises that are gonna allow that knee to just go forward and back. Now this is a really gross exaggeration of what happens when you lose strength. You're not gonna be this obvious, but if you watch, you'll see your knee kind of start to wobble very slightly at first, but then more and more as you get older, unless you really work that. So what can we do to make this stronger? So we're gonna start basically with a standing hip exercise. So all you're gonna do is stand on either leg, because you're gonna do this both sides, and just gonna kick your leg straight out to the side and almost backwards. So it's not straight back and it's not straight out to the side, it's on this almost 45-degree angle. You wanna try not to hold on to anything, and you wanna try not to rest this foot down. You wanna do about 30 of these. If this is really easy, you can put a band around your legs and do it. You're gonna feel this more on the standing leg, especially if you don't have a band on, but you wanna go about as far out as you can. If you're getting all the way out here, you're coming too far forward. So you wanna just kick your leg back nice and easy. And again, keeping your hips level, trying not to rest in between each repetition. You wanna do 30 to 45 on each side. Make sure you do that both sides. Next exercise you wanna do is a single leg sit to stand. So when you're first starting off with these, you're just gonna start with a little mini squat. So you can hold your leg up like this and just go down and then come back up. The idea is that you're gonna go all the way down to a chair and then come back up. But you wanna make sure that your knee does not do this as you go down. So you're just gonna start nice and slow, just bending a little bit and coming back up. Again, if you can do this without touching down, that's gonna be the best way to do that. The exercises that we're doing are all going to be single leg because it's really important that you work that single leg stability. Final exercise that you want to do is you want to work on balance. And again, the more that you wobble, the more that you are unsteady, the harder that meniscus takes a pounding. So if you stand on one leg and you're able to do this pretty easily, great. Go ahead and close your eyes. That's pretty easy. And by easy, I mean holding it 30 seconds without touching down. That's pretty easy. Then you're going to go and put a pillow or something underneath your foot. Start with your eyes open and then eventually close your eyes. That's something you can do while you're brushing your teeth, incorporating that into your day. But again, that's gonna help stabilize that leg. That's really the name of the game when you're dealing with meniscus tears, working on that stability of the knee, stabilizing the knee, taking the pressure, the pounding off of that meniscus. If you or someone you know has a meniscus tear or knee pain and wants a free consultation with a doctor of physical therapy, all you have to do is call our office at 215-997-9898 and we'd be happy to get you in. Thanks and have a good night.